Hmm. All right. Time to So, last time I got done, I was mostly finished placing the special stuff, like the white bordered special spaces. I'm mostly not done with yet. Also, the warp zones I have not connected properly. It's like Ultimate Monopoly only actually has two warp zones, and it actually calls them tunnels. Well, the tunnels are a two-way street, but there's only 2 points connected to each other. Highly limited feature. But yeah, direct connection. In Megaopoly, the warp points had a specific logic to how they were connected to each other. Wasn't necessarily like a one-way thing though. They did very much have a logic to how they were connected. Oh right, I forgot to post on uh yeah, yeah. I mean, I technically don't have to post on Discord, but it's a good idea. Let people know I went live and stuff. Hmm. All right. That's enough Discords. Okay. So, yeah, I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to get text to fit in these things. I'll get to that later. Anyways, so one thing with the purple ones here is that because these are utilities, conceptually players will own them at some point in the game. So have a scaling whatever thingy due to that. Also, there's the whole idea of the game having a mega whammy where under certain circumstances when you get super hyper lucky, you can actually just like straight up steal a property from another player. Which for stuff like railroads, utilities, and taxis due to the way they scale. Yeah, stealing one from another player would actually be incredibly helpful. Anyway, so what did I have that needed placed still? Ah, yes, of course. Hmm. There we go. So, as you can see, I placed the travel vouchers, placed the utilities. I haven't gotten started on any of the color groups yet. Soon, though. Very soon. The other thing is the places like this. Pay 150. Doesn't sound like a big deal, honestly. But kind of is. Because these are all places on the board where I need to write on the board what that space does. You haven't done that yet. All right, so let's start with ring one. There is only one of those spaces in ring one, and it just says pay $10. I probably. Wait. Oh, it says toll road. Okay. Yeah, see, that was the thing that I swiped from Megaopoly. Okay, so where exactly is it going here anyway? Oh. Okay, so it's the first space on side two of ring one, i.e., this one right here. Also, no fill. I really do not understand why that happens in. Does not make sense. Anyways, well, now that I manually highlighted that, I think I will change this to. Well, I wanted to change it to 50, but this font doesn't support that. You know what? Let's go with 16. 14 looks too small. There we go. Toll Road, paying $10. Okay. Well, that is the only one of those in ring one, but it has now been marked. So, ring two. Pay 10% or $200. This is in the traditional location, actually, more or less. Yeah, this is the effect that was called income tax in the original Monopoly. Interesting that shift tap up works before you do the whole like shift uh home thing. I don't understand why there's a difference there, but there is. Okay, well, this is currently a 16-point font. Obviously, that's too large. So 12. Let's see how 12 works. Hmm. Ah. Oh, good enough. All right, I forgot to that. Davis. So last time it was board K. This time it will be board L. Board L being final? No, not really. That's not how this is going to go. But okay, so yeah, I changed the way Ring 2 has things because Ring 2 is one that's supposed to be, based most heavily on traditional Monopoly. It's not actually the same as traditional Monopoly, although it has a similar price range. Keyword similar, not the same. Anyway, so uh on side 3 of Ring 2, the second space before the end of side 2. It marked that as a travel voucher spot. Oh, I remember why. He moved the special space, and I forgot to. I think. Okay, so originally I was going to have a community chest as the first thing. Oh wait. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm looking at side 2 of ring 2. I'm supposed to be looking at side 3. Okay. Problem solved. Also, in my note, I have it written down as draw a white card. Um, I've decided that the game terminology that I'm going to use for those is going to be roll modifier token. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shorten that to roll token because roll modifier is a little overly wordy. And also, the word modifier is kind of long. So, for conciseness, I'm going to call it a roll token. Roll tokens are kind of like cards you draw, except they're really small and have a very, very short phrase on them. Conceptually, the idea is that it's only going to be like 2 or 3 letters worth of text, nothing significant. Wow, my stream preview just went insane, and then it went back to normal. The level of output quality must have went straight through the floor for a few seconds. Anyways, so okay, so that's both of the special spaces on ring 2. Now, ring 2B. Okay, this is the first section of the subring. Yeah, I decided to number them based on the starting point. So the first starting point for one after the go space. Yeah. Okay, this one on my thing is worded as get $100 or a bus ticket. I don't actually have bus tickets in the current one. Those got replaced with travel vouchers. So this space is going to be um, a special space that is basically a travel voucher space, except that it's not really a travel voucher space. I could modify it as get $100 or a roll token. The original concept that I borrowed from is travel vouchers, though, or an equivalent of travel vouchers. Hmm. Oh, hey, another person who is like, hey, look, Geek Community, join my Discord. Why does it say Frosh on the Discord? Hmm. Okay, so this is the second space, so it would be this one. Okay, so 12 is a little small. Let's see if 16 is too large. You know what? If I move the text a little bit, 16 is fine. There we go. See, one thing with these is that all spaces that don't have a colored back on them or a colored bar on them will have one of the reroll tokens on it to begin the game. Hmm. Wow. I am going to need a lot of reroll tokens, aren't I? I just thought about that. You know what? I'll do the final count when I'm done with placing the markers for color groups. Okay, so dum, 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 dum. The third sub ring in ring 2 has as the fourth space in it a stock exchange. In other words, this one. It's this one. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, let's drop that to 14. See how that looks. Oh, yeah, that looks good. I'll just justify this here a little bit. Go. See, realistically, for a true finished product that you would like have for like a professionally made game, you'd have more art than this. I really have almost no art. The fact that I actually went to the trouble of drawing a box for the community chest things is the highest level of art I have attempted in the entire thing. I mean, you could say that the things for finance broker, railroad, and cab company are also art, but I well, finance broker, I guess, is actually a pretty high tier of art because of the fact that I went to the time and effort of drawing a calculator using what is essentially a 1 point font. So, whatever. That's a thing. Like, seriously, it's a calculator where every single button is a single pixel. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. All right, yeah, that's all of the things in the sub rings there. Now we move to ring 3. And come to the horrible realization that when I put down the income tax thing, I put it in the wrong ring. Hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to be in this spot, not this one. Anyways, this is why we have a freeform selection tool. Okay, I missed a spot. Hmm. I do kind of need the missing piece. Ah, boy. Didn't want to zoom in this hard, but Hmm. This is why I like having the ability to edit things pixel by pixel. You can make it right, even if it's hard. It can be done. All right. Now that I'm done fixing ring 2, we can get on to ring 3. Oh, wait. Never mind. Bring on. Oh, yeah. Forgot. The spokes connecting ring 1 to ring 2. I was supposed to do those. Spoke 1. Roll again. Okay. Spoke 2. Draw a roll token. Yeah, roll tokens are more or less a new idea that I came up with. I can claim that they are inspired by the old version of travel cards from one of the others, Monopoly variants, but I changed how they work. So they're not really the same thing. They're their own thing. Hmm. Lose a turn, roll again. You get in. Yeah, lose a turn. This is not something you have in traditional Monopoly. But it is something you'll find in Texopoly. Yeah, Texopoly has two spaces where one is just roll again, and the other one is lose your next turn. Texopoly is actually the first Monopoly variant I've seen that actually had interesting special spaces. Because regular Monopoly, the only two things that I would count as special spaces for this point, caused you to spend money. Yeah, income tax and luxury tax. Income tax is pay 10% or $200. Usually people will go with whichever is lower, obviously. And luxury tax is a flat 75, which late game is kind of trivial, so whatever. I'm not sure if the way I um modified things in this one will make it so people actually have a genuine reason to be worried about running out of cash. I'm going to have to find out soon, though. So many things that might end up getting rebalanced as a result of that. um finding, but that'll be later. Anyways, so those are the spokes going from 1 to 2. Now to do the spokes going from 2 to 3, which in one version of planning, I decided to make all of these just roll again. The current thing says they're draw a white card, which are the reroll tokens. Hmm. Well, not re-roll, but just, you know. Anyway, which version am I actually going to work with? Yeah, I'll just abbreviate it as draw RT for this version of the board. Okay, first thought here is obviously that these aren't going to fit vertically. Yeah, vertical alignment on this is just completely wrong. Also, is the idea that isn't the best idea. Hmm. I am not going to be able to copy paste this to one of the other ones. And the other ones are smaller, which is part of the reason why I decided I wanted to do this. Hmm. Well then, methodology. Yeah, learn a few things. So this is next one is going to be what's actually the smallest of these spaces. Always interesting how simply moving something 1 pixel can make a big difference. There we go. Actually, the way each one leans is going to make it equally annoying. Except it's going up instead of down. That's about the best I'm going to get on that one, I think. I mean, unless I make the font smaller. I'd rather not. A 12-point font would have worked for that one, though, I think. Whatever. You know what? That'll work for this one. Yeah. Tiny half spaces. Part of the reason why I redrew the board was to get rid of all the half spaces that the original layout had. Then I made the new ones on accident because reasons and stuff. And I was actually seriously considering making these non spaces and just saying that it's a junction where the two spaces meet. But if I did that, people would ask why I don't make the railroads do the whole like joining thing that they do in Super Monopoly. Quite frankly, I didn't like the joining thing. Yes, it's a solution, and I liked the idea of like having odd and even rolls decide which direction you'd travel. That was good. However, the act, actually having the railroads as double-sized spaces was such a non-entity because of the fact that railroads in Ultimate Monopoly are functionally worthless as territory. You get practically nothing from controlling them. Darn shame that, honestly. So, finished the spokes connecting 1 to 2. Now for the spokes connecting 2 to 3, and for some reason all of them say draw a white card. Wait, no, I just did those. Okay, ring 3. What on earth was this originally called? Oh, yeah. Megaopoly had this as a federal tax. It's basically like the income tax on uh, the traditional Monopoly, except worse. Numbers go up. So, first space after the railroad. Yeah, federal tax, pay 15% or 300. You know what? That minor templating change made it fit better because 300 is one character shorter than 15%. Okay, then. Mm, mm. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, looks like the way I set up ring 3, it just doesn't have a whole lot of spaces for those. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? This should not have have a travel card space on it. Yeah, utility here, travel card here. This should not be a travel card space. What travel card spaces did I have? One, two, three. Uh, okay, so ring 3 had one, two, three, four. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, that's an extra one. Shouldn't be there. Okay then. Actually, supposed to be a color group property. Oh boy. I don't know how I screwed that up. Oh well, moving on. Anyway, though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that checks out. Ah, boy. Again, this is why I was always saying check your work. Just because you think you did it right the first time doesn't mean you actually did. All right, so that is all of the stuff for Ring 3. It's special spaces, anyways. Now, I need to figure out what I am going to have, or yeah, I didn't actually finish filling in all of the stuff in the spokes. And also I renamed some of the items that I was putting in here Like the things that I was calling rent vouchers got renamed to finance brokers because I decided to merge the rent voucher idea with the stock market cards. One, this helps because I actually didn't have a particularly good idea as to what to make the stock market drawing cards actually do. And two, having the rent vouchers as a completely separate card type felt like overkill. Also, the original board template that I had for this only had 5 colored cards. So actually adding the rent vouchers as their own card type felt wrong. Anyway, I still need to do a whole bunch more spaces on the spokes. Yeah, this blue array here is the stuff for the spaces on the spokes. I have several warp zones marked out. I have 4 finance broker spaces marked out. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 spaces that have not been defined yet. To be honest, I'm probably going to have a whole lot of things like roll again, lose a turn. When moving off, reduce move by whatever number. Stuff like that. I might have some of them that give you the roll tokens. But mixed in with a variety of other horrible things. Like when I was thinking about this, I came up with some what I personally think are interesting variants of the roll again or lose a turn thing. Like if you land here on an odd number, you lose a turn and stuff like that. But like, okay, if it's like if you land here on an odd number, you lose a turn. But if you land here on an even number, you get $100. Actually, hang on a second. I think I may have done that on a few of the spaces already. Oh yeah. Actually, no, wait, no. Those are actually different because on those, um, both of the effects happen. It's not A or B depending on how you rolled. It's both of them happen. And getting $500 because you lost a turn, this space is only in the leaving jail path, which you are not allowed to move into. Yeah, no one moves into this. This is a one-way thing. This is the only one-way street I put on the board. I'm going to have to mark directions at some point. I'll get to that later. Because I'm going to use the directional markers to explain how the whole changing directions as you move thing goes. Because there's a whole lot of junction spaces, and I need to have a general, easily rememberable rule for the junction spaces. But also, I need arrows to mark directions because junction spaces are fundamentally mono direction. basic premise of Monopoly is you always move a certain way. You do not get a choice of direction to move. Which, the roll tokens have things that let you manipulate where you land, but you have to pay a roll token to do it. It's not a arbitrary choice, it's a paid luxury choice. Anyways, so I will get back to the spokes. First, I am going to put the special spaces in ring 4 and 4B. Okay. So 4B, section 2, has a stock exchange. That's section 1. Actually, no, that's section 4. This is section 3. So this is section 2. The second space in it is a stock exchange. Okay. I looks at this and I'm like, copy pasting. Yeah, I know. But why the heck not? It actually will fit properly. I am not going to attempt to explain what the stock exchange does. You can look that up in the rules booklet because, quite frankly, it's complicated. I placed several of them on the board intentionally because the fact that having only one of them on the board made it not happen very often. The original idea of stock exchange came from Monopoly Super, I think. But in Monopoly Super, you landed on it a heck of a lot more often. In Ultimate Monopoly, God, might as well not be there. It adds complexity to the game in a way that looks interesting on the surface, but it comes up so rarely that it's almost unimportant. The idea is something that I thought was um, usable if it got reworked. But how are we going to rework it? That is a thing that needed to be pondered. The finance broker cards are actually part of this because the fact that my thought on the finance broker cards is actually to have an inside trading thing where one of the cards will let you um, buy a stock, and then anyone who has stock in that company gets a stock dividend. But that's unethical. In real life, yes, it is unethical in real life. But, this is about cutthroat business. The idea is to simulate being a cutthroat businessman who, ethics, morals, what's that? Yes, become the corpo scum. Anyway, though. All right. Okay, let's see. Did that one to the stock exchange. Oh, when moving off this space, move backwards. Okay. Ring 4B, section 3, space 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just realized I numbered that wrong. I numbered it without putting in the railroad. Oops. Anyways. One of the fun things about moving backwards in this, though, that I thought of is that it reverses all of the red arrows that are going to be added to the board for guidance on which direction to move. So if this is a spoke that normally goes outward, when you're moving backwards, it becomes a spoke where you move inwards. So you might actually move up this way. Hmm. Okay, so that one's down. Collect 150. Done deal from Texopoly. Hmm. Uh, oh, middle of here. All right. Hmm. Yeah, that could use being larger. You have a 20. Oh, I didn't highlight anything. Nope, 20-point font's too big. Yeah, 16 looks like it'll work. Yeah, one thing that's going to take half of forever on this is um compiling the rules because I'm borrowing ideas from something like 8 different editions of Monopoly, some of which are unfinished editions of Monopoly. Seriously, Eco Monopoly, unplayable. The person who created it wasn't actually intending to make a finished playable game. Threw out some interesting ideas, but the end result was nothing usable. Now, it looks cool for a certain artistic sense, anyways. As a game board, it's actually terrible because the fact that it has all this extraneous detail that distracts your eye and makes it hard to tell where the one space ends and the next begins, which is apparently part of the intent. And also, the person put in placeholder values for all of the properties because they hadn't thought through that far to actually put in real values. Anyways, I borrowed an idea from it because it was like one idea in it that was actually a usable idea, while the rest of it was not. Anyways, moving on to the main part of Ring 4. I don't have any special spaces in most of it. Okay, so the second space on side 3 of the main part of Ring 4. Collect $200. Yeah. Okay, so side 3. This is side 4 here. 3. Here we are. See, what makes this different from a ghost space is that you have to actually land here to get it. You don't get it by passing it. Okay, you know what? I need to look and see what the theme on this was. Oh, oh, I see. I know what happened here. This is one of those things where I took one of the other previously existing things for um you need to you get money or you lose money or whatever, and I just upskilled it. Some version of Monopoly has a space you land on and you get money for landing on the space. I decided to increase that because this is the outer ring. And also, the actual ghost space in the outer ring gives you more money than this. It's either 300 or 400, depending on whether you're odd or even when you go past it. I like this idea. This is a cool idea. Anyways, moving on. So, let's see what else we have. Hmm. Okay, there's a pay 150 space. Hmm. Hmm. You know what? I could just call it luxury tax. I think it actually is just an upscaled version of luxury taxes. I don't think I have a space on the board that actually. Oh wait, no, no, never mind. I do. I do. The actual luxury tax is in Ring 2. Wait, did I mark it? No. Crap. Okay. Yeah. Luxury tax, pay $75 is right here. Okay then. One, reduce font size. Okay, so the pay $75 thing fits perfectly now. Let's move the luxury thing to be adequately centered. And now we just recenter the tax part. And oh, this is actually something that you would get one of the roll tokens for landing on the first time someone lands on it in the game. Anyway, hmm. Yeah, I forgot to make sure that all of those things were filled in. There was one that didn't get filled in. Anyways, now for the Ring 4 equivalent of luxury tax. Oh, yeah, it's actually the space over here. Wait. This is stock exchange. Forgot to fill that in earlier. Whoops. those things where I felt like I was missing. Oh, it was that. Anyway, this one is. Oh, right. I remember where I got this from now. It was actually not one of the ideas from Megaopoly. I don't remember what he called it though. Yeah, he was the guy who came up with federal income tax, which I didn't actually name federal income tax. I just call it federal tax for simplicity's sake. Oh, IRS audit was what he named this. I'm not sure I like that because, hmm, now I'll just name it a different luxury tax. And it is in this spot here. Since I'm doing a vertical space, it's easy to draw. Nope, 20 points still too big. It's like only one thing I've ever actually gotten to 20 point to work for, and that's a stock exchange because it's written sideways in a long space, and that's the only thing that actually fits because it's on two rows of text going the length of the space. Okay. Okay. Hmm. That looks right. Yeah, there's a minor asymmetry in the outer. Oh wait, I missed a spot. What is this? That's the second half of side two. Oh, it's a travel voucher space. Yeah, one of those. It's supposed to be here. Several things make a lot more sense now. Because, like, why do I have three lucky draw things in a row? That doesn't sound right. I thought I had something between them to break them. Oh, it was this. Okay, boom, done. Ah. Yeah, because one of the things I decided as a general principle is that while junction spaces can be properties you own, because realistically, the majority of the junction spaces are in fact railroads. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to write down that this is a railroad. So looking at this, like I feel like something's missing. Oh, that was the thing that's missing. Am I actually going to name the railroads? I could. What if I could kind of talk my siblings or someone else into helping me with positioning all of the names? Because holy, is that a lot of names to rearrange. Okay. Also, at some point, yeah, I haven't actually put in the utility names yet either. Okay. That is should be all of the special spaces. Everything that isn't a color group property should be at least outlined. These being spoke spaces count as being outlined by default. So I decided what I wanted to have as the um, list of utilities. You figure out where the slide is. There we go. Here we have the list of utilities. This is, as far as I know, the fully updated version of it. And I think I did actually start placing these in ring one. There's several things on this that I have yet to decide which ring to put them into, though. And since subrings are involved with the current one, I need to figure out which subring certain things go to as well. Fun. And you may have noticed that in this diagram, I have not fractions, decimals instead of whole numbers, because this doesn't actually have the full numbers of stuff. I don't know. There's 13, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 5 is 12. Plus 1, that's 13. Yep, that sounds about right. Anyway, though. It's one of those things that's kind of in terms of like doing like breakdowns. Anyway, so ring one. When we look at ring one, I have purple thing here. However, if we look at the sheet where I have things listed, you'll see that I have something marked as trash collector. Which is here. I will change this bit of text to red to indicate that trash collector has had its location chosen. No, I actually still need to write that on the board though. See, at one point I was actually planning to put pictures on these. Thing is, this board layout that I'm currently using is a bit too low res, honestly. I honestly, if putting proper graphics on this, I would need to make it twice as big. And maybe possibly redraw the whole thing again. Maybe. Anyway, though. So, there's trash collector placed on the board. Now we have one for ring 2B to choose. Hmm. So what's something that makes sense as an inner city thing that's like really, really down there on the list of things that, people are probably going to have like an inner city stuff but it's the like gated community part of the inner city or the closest thing you have to that. So it's like really, really inner city, but also the slightly ritzy part of the inner city. Hmm. You know what? I'll go with telephone company. Yeah, telephone company sounds right. Actually, you know what? I could do that. Put them in different colors to have different rings. Hmm. Okay, so there we go. So the traditional thing for standard Monopoly is to have the electric company and waterworks. So I guess I'll just put electric company and waterworks on ring 2. They do make sense as things you would have in that part of the thing. So sure, why not? There we go. Yeah, it's good for electric company. Now waterworks. Well done. Yeah, on second thought, I probably should have reduced the font size for electric company a little bit, but too late now. All right, so electric company and waterworks. Main part of ring 2. What is in ring 3? Well, three things. Now, see, ring 3 isn't the ritzy part of town where they have like, you know, see, because like ring 4 is kind of like the suburbs, it's like the parts of it that are just like way out there. not in the middle of town where people have a lot of space to enjoy life. And so it's one way to put the things that have the most like space needed to make them work, but also the things that are like the most like ritzy of the ritzy things. Hmm. So for the main part of Ring 3, which realistically is anything that isn't going in Ring 4 or Ring 4B. Gas company, maybe. Cable, internet, also maybes. Sewage. I'm actually going to put this in Ring 4, not because it's a ritzy thing, but because it's something that you would want to have on the outskirts of town. Because like waterworks, that's the like water distribution thing where they manage water flow of fresh water. Whereas sewage is where you have the wastewater go. So, kind of sort of different things. Kind of, sort of. I know my local utilities bundles those together, but whatever. Anyway, car repair, motor fuel, very high class ritzy things. And yeah, remember, Ring 4 and Ring 4B put together have 6 utilities. So, Orchard, definitely. Car repair, motor fuel, your postal service, toll road. Um, actually, you know what? One, two, three. Yeah. Hmm. Gas company having their actual facility being on the outskirts of town makes sense. Same with the sewage. Cable or internet, though? You know what? I'll put cable as ring 3. It's cable is ring 3. You know what? I'll put the two things related to cars. There. Cable company, motor fuel, and car repair. Those are going in ring 3. Hmm. You know what? I'll put cable company right here. Yes. Okay. It's cable company. Now do motor fuel and car repair. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? When you're using short words, it's easy to make things fit. Okay, so That's that for now. Now, which of the five remaining on here will be in the sub ring? Hmm. You know what? I'll go with internet service as the one for the sub ring. All right. Wait, where is that one actually, anyways? Nope, not that one. Nope. What? What? Hmm. Okay, ring 4B, section 1. The last space should be in a utility. Okay. Yeah, there's something missing here. Oops. Messed that up. Ugh, boy. Again, this is why you need to be able to double check your own work. If you have to do everything right the first time or not at all, ugh, no. Just no. Okay. So this one I have decided is going to be internet service. Which, yeah, I can do a relatively large font here. I forgot that I still had purple as primary color. Well, that was fixable. And we're done with that. Now to figure out where to put the other stuff. Because, quite frankly, I still have five of them to place. All right. Well, let's see here. What would be a good place to put an orchard? Yeah, this does feel like a relatively remote part of town. So a good place for an orchard. In case you're wondering, this oh yeah, that's right. This is the one that I actually got from Saigonopoly. Or not sorry, not Saigonopoly. Singanopoly. Ah, names are too similar. One of them is based on Singapore, the other one's based on Saigon, which are not the same place. Not actually all that close together. They're both considered to be part of Southeast Asia, but not all that close. Saigon is, of course, in Vietnam, and Singapore is in the islands in the Indian Ocean. Anyway, though. All right, orchard's done. Okay, postal service. Let's see. What's a good place for the postal service? Realistically, I should probably put it next to like which one of these is like closest to a railroad? Not that one. Yeah, you know what? This is a good place for postal service. Yeah, by professional standards, this would be an unfinished prototype. This would be like the rough draft version. And I'm still not done with it. Joyous. Okay, toll road. Toll road, sewage, and gas company. Mm, hmm. 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 Yeah, put toll road here. I just realized that I screwed up something with all of these. You have to put in the purchase price. Crap. Okay. Toll road. So one of these is sewage, and the other one's the postal. No, I did the postal service. Oh, I'm going to have to scratch them off. Gas company. That was the other one. Mark down toll road and postal service. Okay. Sewage and gas company. You know what? Honestly, neither one of them is actually particularly good or I guess the best way to put it is like neither one of them really speaks to me. They're just there. Yeah, that's something you could easily copy paste all over the place. Okay. Now to copy paste the whole $150 tag thingy all over the place because I have 11 utilities that don't have it. Oh, crap, I can't. Yeah, see, the problem here is that the object is too small. So I need to make it functionally larger. Actually, no, what? If I'm screwing with that, I'm going to erase the corners to make it easier to paste. This is something I should be able to just copy paste at will and actually have it look right. Hmm, excellent. I'm just going to put it on top right here. Slightly atypical, but easily legible. Oh, yeah, that right there. That would have been awkward to paste if I'd had to make the larger block work for it. Car repair. Mm-mm. Yeah, some of these I really feel like I should move them up a little bit, but whatever. If it works, I don't care. Okay, motor fuel. That one's not done yet. And it's just like perfectly positioned so I can't get it to fit. Yeah. Not happy with that. Actually, no what? Well, okay then. All right, well that fits now. I still need to do the stuff on the spokes, but other than the spokes, the only thing left is to put in all of the color group stuff. Some of which will be atypical because logic happened. Oh well. Yeah, trapezoidal spaces. I end up with a bunch of trapezoidal spaces, and part of me thinks I should have just made all of the trapezoidal spaces special stuff like travel card or chance card or something. But I didn't want the board to be that uniform. Didn't want it to be like that. Although realistically, I probably could have just put in more of them like that and just not made all of them like Still, though, lots of trapezoids to work with here. Hmm. Oh, also, I need to fix this cab company space because it's backwards. Almost forgot about that. Yeah, see, this one, having it facing right, works because of the fact that this is the inside of the ring. And the color bars go on the inside of the ring. This is not. This is the outside of the ring. Part of me, for a moment, considered having the sub rings be like backwards in that regard. But then I realized that the backwards thing would only make sense for sub ring 2. It doesn't make sense at all for sub ring 4. And thus having them be different like that, just nah, not good game design. Which means I need to move this. I need to zoom in more. And now we are at maximum zoom. Mm. I am not actually going to cut this. Doop, doop, doop. Rotate 180. Yoink. And now we just slide it over here. Boop. I know, that was amazingly easy. How could that possibly be so easy? Well, it was. Anyways, that's done. How long has it been? Oh, wow. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. Jeez. Man, the whole time flies when you're having fun. Things snuck up on me again. Yeah, I'm not done yet. Okay, so all the special things are placed. What this means now is that I need to actually go and do the whole templating thing. See, I had to think about how to differentiate properties in different rings, which I kind of need to do because of the fact that what's the best way to put this? There is no way I am going to be able to have um well, here, let's double check to make sure my math is right. Okay. Okay, ring 1 has 4 color groups. Actually, yeah, this is the easy way. 4 color groups, 8 color groups, 4 color groups. How many is that total? 16. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. That is 16 color groups. 4 plus 4 plus 8. That's also 16 plus another 8. Yeah. 40 color groups. This edition of Monopoly has as many color groups as the number of spaces on the original Monopoly board, making all 40 of those a unique color is, I think it's a dumb idea, honestly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just think it's a dumb idea. So what I decided to do was borrow something that Megaopoly did. Well, okay, take inspiration from something Megaopoly did. I'm not actually going to borrow what he did. See, Megaopoly's solution is what inspired me to make the spaces have that checkerboard pattern. And obviously also the railroads having the little like track thing. Because what Megaopoly did was instead of having solid colored bars, okay, the main ring, the one from traditional Monopoly, had solid colored bars. But in actually, you know what? Hold on, and we'll save this. And wait, hold on. Do I have the Megaopoly in the PowerPoint presentation somewhere? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah. See, on the inner ring, there are weird color patterns. He didn't actually use checkerboard for most of them, just one. Only one. Yeah, has a checkerboard. But that's the distinguishing feature is that, yeah, there's a primary color, there's a secondary color, and there is some weird effect to make it different. I guess in that one, there's actually three colors. Whatever. Anyways, on the outer ring, he used color gradations, like green transitioning to red, or green transitioning to yellow, yellow to red, etc., etc., etc. Now, one of the things that's interesting about Megaopoly is that it has 8 color groups on each ring. Exactly 8 on each ring. So it's 24 total, which is a little over half of what I have, which honestly is a pretty good number. Fun fact, Ultimate Monopoly actually has less color groups than Megaopoly because of the fact that Ultimate Monopoly has larger color groups in the center ring. So there's like 3 properties per color group in the center ring, and thus they have actually no, I can just click here. See, look. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's only like 4 color groups in the center ring. So Ultimate Monopoly, 8, 8, 4. So they have exactly 20. Half of what I have. But like I said, Ultimate Monopoly decided to go with the idea of making all of them slightly different shades of whatever. I'm going to end up using a bunch of slightly different shades of whatever, but to a somewhat lesser extent than they did. Somewhat. Only somewhat. But somewhat nonetheless. Okay. So, what are we going to do? Well, place all these. I need to, I'm going to finish marking the colors just for completion's sake. All right, done. All right, let's start with the simplest and easiest one. Ring 1. 4 color groups, and not really a whole lot else to look at. With the simplest, most obvious colors. Hmm. had a bolt of inspiration hit me, which, yeah, whatever. Anyway, pictures. Dum 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 dum. Maps. Yeah. I know. I can't show this on stream because it's File Explorer. I don't have File Explorer hooked up to my Streamlabs. Oh, either I didn't save a copy of it or I saved it to somewhere else. Yeah, I'm actually just trying to look up the Wizard of Oz thing. Because, like, the Wizard of Oz assigned colors to the cardinal directions. And if I remember right, they were like simple primary colors too. Just felt like one of those things you could do just for the lulls of it. Um, hmm. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I just like never saved a copy of it. Hmm. Yeah, screw it. I am going to just do a quick web search. Images. Oh, wow, that was fast. Like blindingly fast. Just putting in Oz map. Done. Although, like, The Wizard of Oz is actually one of the most famous works of fiction ever. So it does make sense that it would be easy to find a map related to it. The funny thing is that apparently someone a long time ago actually came up with the idea of that Oz isn't like, well, I mean, there's a world outside Oz, and so on and so forth. Anyways, so, oh my. This is actually not exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, right. It's like this because the fact that the city of Oz has the color green. And the north, south, east, and west areas each have a different color that isn't green. Hmm. 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 You know what? I'm just going to put green on the north side. So red, yellow, green, blue. Okay, whatever. Now, I need to paste from one of my templates. The inner ring does not use diagonal things, so I'm not going to bother with that one. I'm going to get this one, marked color cell. I know, so simple. I'm not actually going to use the entire template. I realized after making it that actually it's a bad idea to make it the full template. It's like the actual original idea behind making this template was only a valid idea if I was going to assemble the actual like frame of the board out of these and not copy paste them onto the board after I'd already built it. Anyways, so now we get to the thing that I was talking about when I was saying that I needed something to differentiate the rings from each other. I actually decided to go with a tick mark system because I needed it to be something that's easy to apply and doesn't, make a mess. Bunk. Yep, tick mark. Oh, right. It doesn't really have a save to feature, but I can kind of sort of save to. I just have to open a different paint window. Oh, and it occurs to me that I'm not actually showing paint. Alrighty then. There. Saved as. Mm, now, need to zoom in a bit. It's hard to see. All right, now, so we're going to make this one yellow. Blunk. Now I place this one too. And paint yellow. Boom. Yeah, trying to decide what property name labels to put on these. Haha, it's going to be a pain. I will have to get to that though. So I'm going to put light green for this to differentiate from this dark green, which I've been using for the background color. Of course it did that. Why wouldn't it do that? Ah. No, I didn't make it wide enough. All right. Okay, 114 by 114. Good. Control C. This will actually work for both of them. I won't need to redo it, but I am just going to place these now, and then get back to the other ones later. Yeah, it's one of those practice makes perfect things. It's like copy pasting things manually, repeatedly. You get used to it after a while. Now I'm going to Control C this again, just so I don't have to rotate it every single time I paste it. Okay. So now all the header things are pasted. I decided that the north is going to be the green one. East is going to be blue. And the south is going to be red. There. Now, what is so important about assigning directions? Well, you see, I'm going to have to place a whole bunch of color groups. No. Anyway, I'm going to have to paste a whole bunch of color groups to fill in all of the other stuff. But for the first few, it's going to be rather. What's the best way to put this? Minor variations. They're not going to be that different, if you know what I mean. However, it's going to quickly get interesting because each wedge of ring 4 has 4 color groups in it. Just like all of ring 4 put together has 16 color groups. Hmm. Which means that I'm going to need 4 different variations of yellow, 4 variations of green, 4 variations of blue, and 4 variations of red. Obviously, I'm probably going to end up using things like purple and stuff like that to, add a variety. Might even toss in like shades of gray and brown because why not? Honestly, having red transition to pink and brown actually makes a lot of sense. Anyway, moving on. Now we need to do the templates to make one with 2 pips. But I need 2 pip templates for the main parts, the subring. I'm going to have to do something for the trapezoids because, as it turns out, I ended up having most of the trapezoids be property groups, and yeah, that's a thing that happened. And trapezoids are going to be a problem in ring 4 too, but less of a problem because the in ring 4, the trapezoids are actually having the point be on the outer edge so that the color group bar is on the wide side of it, not the short one. Which is actually the biggest problem here. So I need to figure out like, what am I want to do with this. Like, Anyways, I'm with the pain, I guess. So, for starters, I am going to make a 2-bar version of this template. Oh, I did kill the other paint window I had open. Ugh. Anyways, doop doop doop. So, I am going to Control X, Control V. Yeah, I'm just eyeballing this. I don't actually care enough about whether these are perfectly spaced to bother with something like measuring it. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Control C. Now, this is the part where I switch to the other MS Paint window, do a Control V and Control S, and save as cell head 2. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I almost forgot about that. Need to add it now. Oops. Silly me. Okay, so the thing I decided that I wanted to do to distinguish the sub rings from the main rings was adding a little notch in the corner. Okay, that's 8 by 8. Good. That is not symmetrical, which means the line thickness on the outer line is not. Oh, right. One side it has padding, the other side doesn't. That's the problem. Silly me. There we go. Now, what am I going to do with these? I'm just actually just going to sit them in the corners. Yeah, just like that. Boop. Rotate left. Rotate right. Rotate 180. Okay. Now we just draw this over until it gets to 102 because reasons. Now we go to thing saved as cell head 2, Control N, Control V, Control S. Cell head 2B. Anyways, now to paste these. Okay, that looks right. You know what? Putting those little things in the corners actually makes them easier to center properly. Ah, feels like this space is just wider than it should be. I don't understand that. Yeah, like part of the thing with like building things out of cells like this was to give me, even um dependable. Okay, that's started. All right. Rotate 90. So see that. So that's I go up here and have only one. Hmm. Now I need to figure out how to make it a header template for the points. Mm. Now, see, one thing that's notable here is that I don't need to put the little corner things on the points. I just need to figure out exactly what size and shape I'm going to use for them. Mm. Yeah, that's painful. I know. Mm. So again, going with the like two tick mark thing, I am going to include that as part of this. Mm, feels too thick. Yeah, that's a better width, I think. Anyway, okay, that looks good. It does. Okay. Good thing I don't have any need to actually write anything in these things. Oh boy. Okay, so now I'm going to put this back to 3. No, that's too far up. Okay. not good enough. Now, yeah, getting a big chunk of the green stuff actually is fine. Yeah, well, that's easy. Boom, done. Okay. Was not expecting it to be quite that easy to get that to slot in there. Hmm. Hmm. No, I did that wrong. 180 again. Really want to do is I want to flip it diagonally. Yes, like flipping it horizontally and flipping it vertically isn't really the same thing. I have to rotate 180 now. No, that's still wrong. I'm actually back to where I started. Oh, you know what? Exactly what I was afraid would happen. Hate that. Yeah, this is the part where we make sure it has a perfectly square box. There, 70 by 70. All right. Rotate. Mm, there. Hmm. Hmm. Alrighty then. Actually, you know what? This one can just rotate 180. Yeah, it's like this is a fun logic. Wait, did I say fun? No, it's not a fun logic puzzle, but it is a logic puzzle of sorts, trying to figure out what the best way to rotate it is. And then, of course, I'm going to have to fill these in with whatever color. Haven't decided on the colors yet. All right, only one more. Oh, rotate left. Nope, that was the wrong one. Rotate 180. Rotated. That's done. And done with that template. I did not expect to use that one ever again. Hopefully, I don't have to use that one ever again. No. So the subring, I'm going to go with whatever I would have as the third color for that group. Hmm. 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 Okay, so I've decided to have like red include orange, yellow or red include brown, yellow include orange. And it occurs to me that for this idea to work properly, I actually need to have these start as dark blue. Because I'm not actually going to have this mutate into other shades of blue. I'm actually going to have it mutate into purple. Yeah, I'm going to have it mutate into purple. Yeah, so east is going to be deep blue to start. North is going to be green to start. East is going to mutate into purple, and green is going to mutate into cyan and light blue. So, the third color for the north will be this one. Dun dun dun. Kind of like blue, but you know. The third color for the west. I know there's only so many colors, so yeah, the background colors are going to get reused. That's just how it works. Brown. We're actually going to use the lighter brown for this. Deep purple. See, with the orange one was a bit different because the fact that I used both the light orange and the dark orange for a space background somewhere. Then again, the same thing is also true of yellow, so you know, and red, honestly, and light green. So many colors. Anyways, moving on. So I colored in the subring. Now I need to actually build the template for the things to use in the main ring part of ring 2 and then place them all over the entire ring. So we have these here in the space that was worked on. That should be good enough. Anyways, based from see, here's the one I made several of these little things because I wasn't 100% sure exactly how many of the different things I would need. So I decided to just, worry about it later. This is annoying and I don't like it. Also, why is it so big? No, I guess it is the right size. Well, I mean, why is it so big in terms of like I think I just barely managed to make it fit. In terms of the just like giant area. Yeah. Away with you. There, that works. Anyways, now to erase most of it. Get it. Yeah, the simplest way here is actually just like zoom in even further and do pencil work. Okay, that's done. Now we need to add line work to it in black. So, um, this has two tick marks. Okay, there's one. Yeah, I'm going to call that good. Okay, so now we have the new template for the corner with two tick marks on it. I'm actually going to need to make a 3 tick mark version of this for ring 3. Um, so, yeah, I intentionally made this wide enough I could put a 3rd tick mark in the center. Anyway, oops. I need to double check and make sure I make the bounding box the right size. Okay. Now we go to the other tab and throw that in there. Mm. Now to paste that all over the place. Also, it's possible I may have accidentally used thicker lines doing the edges of the diagonal cells than I did with the horizontal cells. Oops. If I was to go to the time and effort of redrawing the entire freaking board, then I would have a reason to attempt to correct this deficiency. If. As is, well, no. Well, that's one. I'm close enough to two. Okay, looks good. Hmm. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, as you see, there are certain minor I'm not sure what to call them. Anomalies? Yeah, anomalies. I'm just going to paste this on top of the anomalies and pretend I don't see them. All right, rotate 90. Control C. But yeah, it's like the color ambiguity thing is the part of the reason why I had those spaces solid like the entire space because I knew I was going to end up with the color ambiguity issue. So you just don't have 9 million colors. So it's like people are like, oh, can't you just like set RGB values and make up new colors that aren't in the palette? Yes, yes, I can. Will it be readily apparent to a person playing the game, though? No. I definitely put this down slightly off centered because this is too thick, and this is also too thick, and this is slightly off in alignment. Let's see if the cab company comes out off in alignment too. Hmm. That looks right. And no, the cab company is not off in alignment. Yeah, it's exactly the same on both sides. Oh, that's what happened. I made it so that the line thickness on the diagonal ones is approximately equal to the double thickness lines that I have here in the uh, connecting two of the cells. Because one thing I did fundamentally differently with the diagonal cells is having them fully share a border, where in the other ones, they're supposed to have their own borders, and thus the connection is double thickness because there's actually two walls there. Ah, well. All right. Ring two is now done. Now for ring three. Ring three will have slightly less copy pasting issues because I'm only going to actually have one template to paste on everything. So for now, the only thing I actually need to do is add the third tick mark in the middle here. I do kind of want to have it centered properly though. Good enough. Okay, there. Now I'm going to end up copy pasting this one a whole bunch of times. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, trapezoidal spaces exist here too. Very small numbers, though. Very small numbers. Yeah, for these, I'm just going to like hand draw something. Because like actually like making a template doesn't work properly because they're not properly symmetrical. It's like the one here is just not the same dimensions as the one here, which is a massive pain in the ass. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay. So that's good. Cool, cool, cool. And let's see here. One, two, three. Now, I might be able to copy paste this to one of the other ones, but it'd probably be easier to just redraw it. It's just that annoying to trying to get these things to copy paste. Hmm. 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 Yeah, how long have I been at this? Almost 3 hours now. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's terrible, but what? Good enough. I have to do the same freehanding on this side too. All right. Yeah, it occurs to me that having music or something would make this somewhat less boring. I mean, it's somewhat less boring for me too, honestly. All right. Oh, and the pink colors. And I'm going to get back to the other stuff later because I am tired. I'm about to get to the point where I can't see straight. All right. Paint can tool. This one get Control Z. Mm, light golden, which looks more tan to me than yellow, but that's fine actually. Yeah, you know what's good. Okay. That is actually one of the quirks of this is that I don't really have a good reason to have the um variant colors far away from the regular ones. Hmm. Although in the north side case, I think I will actually save the dark green for last. Um, yeah, I already used the dark blue for that one, so I'm going to use light blue for these. All right, that's good. Anyway, okay, so this blue here is the primary one. That is quite dark. Mm. So what I'm going to have is the You know what? I will save the light purple for the fourth color that I only use for ring 4B or something. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it ring 4B or the corner color group. Because a corner color group needs to be easily distinguishable from what comes before it and what comes after it. Although, what comes before it and what comes after it are two different sides of the board. So, shouldn't be too great of a similarity in colors. All right, and a red. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah, all of that. You. Yeah, you know what? I guess I will just use pink for this because like the other one is the dark brown color. Yeah, like the fourth one I'm doing for the south side is the dark brown color. So I guess dark brown and oh yeah. That would actually look good. Dark brown is the corner. Hmm. Okay, well, let's save this. And behold it. Man, that is starting to look a lot more like a Monopoly board. Ugh. Well, I'm going to get out. Hmm. I feel like there's a digital art thing on Kick. Oh, there's only like 4 people. None of which is apparently doing in English. Oh, yes. Espanol. Hmm. All 3 of them, actually. Hmm. Oh, well. Yeah, I think I'll just call it then. And yeah, like nobody's getting views in the digital art category, I guess. Huh. Well then. Oh well. See